Hi, my name is Wayne Clements, your host of Artstudio. Thanks for joining us once again. We're going to the beach in this little episode, and we're going to have the flags up. So we've got a little bit of a stencil happening there, and why I've done that is because we're going to have our traditional Australian beach flag, which is red and yellow, so we wanted that to be untainted by any colours behind it. So I've just got a bit of tape on there. We're going to pull it off when we go ready to paint over it, or after we paint it over it. So I've actually painted most of this with a white right now, straight over the top of it. Great way to do things sometimes when you're painting wet and wet, and you don't have to wait for things to dry, so you can do the one painting in one hit. So we're just going to go around our palette. We've got our titanium white, we've got some phthalo blue, which I've tinted with a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow ochre here that we've put into our sand colour, and we've also got some Aleutian violet that I've tinted there as well. That'll also be going into the sand. A little bit of orange. We've got our red and yellow for our beach flag, and we've got some darks here. We won't be using too much of that, just in a couple of little spots. In fact, I've coated the whole painting with white this time, just to make all our colours blend together. Got some black, don't know if we'll use that. Got a little bit of violet for our little bit in the water and in the top of the painting in the sky. We've also got some phthalo green here, beautiful colour. I've actually tinted that a little bit, not much, just a little tiny bit there, so as you can see, and that's such a beautiful colour in the water. Now this one's straight from a photo, so we've actually mixed up a colour here for the sand, and what that is a lot of white, a little bit of yellow ochre, just a touch of the Aleutian violet, and I've got a little bit of that burnt umber in there as well. We'll put a little bit more of that burnt umber in as we go. We don't need the green. So here we go, straight into the painting. I'm going to pick up our blue straight away, phthalo blue straight into the sky. It's going to be dark coming down to light, so we'll start up here in the dark. So we don't want that strength, that value of that colour way down the bottom. So we're just going to gently drag that colour down without adding any more to our brush. Just a crisscross action straight over the top of our little stencil that we've just made up for our beach flag. And just gently coming down now. As I'm coming further down, just lifting that brush away from the canvas. Just gently crisscrossing. You'd even get another brush if you wish, if you want to make that nice and light down the bottom. Just get a dry, clean brush and go over it. I've probably got just a little bit too much paint on that brush there to do that, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of our violet colour up the top of the sky. Now this is actually true to life, these colours, so we haven't changed anything. It's exactly how it is. A little beach could be anywhere in Australia, this one. So we're just going to get a little bit more of that dark in the sky there. Just up the top, blend it down as we come down. Looking pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to pick up a nice dry, clean brush now, and without putting any paint on it at all, we're just going to go over that. We've already got a bit of white here, so it's just going to drag down beautifully and go nice and light, right on the horizon line, which is always somewhere below halfway. It can be above it, doesn't matter, as long as we don't get it on the halfway line. Because what's going to happen if we do, and that pretty well works for any painting, is you tend to split your painting in half. And it looks like two sections and you don't know which one to really look at. So it's a great idea to come up or below the horizon line. Okay, a little bit of a test here now. I'm going to do this without a ruler, which I normally use, but I don't have one. So we're just going to see how good my eye is, and we're going to go straight across with this blue colour, a dark blue, and then we're going to make that a bit lighter as well as we come further forward. So we get that dark line at the top. Get another brush, I don't want that colour on there, and I might even get a smaller brush actually. Looks just the one, that one. So we're going to go straight into our green. So we've already got some white on here, and that green's going to go beautifully in here, and that'll blend in nicely with that colour behind too. We don't want to go back into that colour yet, so we want to keep the green at the foreground, or pretty well just forward of the middle distance anyway. So we go middle distance back here, and we got that green, beautiful green colour coming up, and we'll just get a little bit more of that in there as we come further back to the horizon line, just to blend it in. So we got that transition of colour going from the lighter back to the dark, back in the distance. It's picking its colour up from up in the sky there, so there's a reason for everything here. So there we go, just blend that in a little bit. And want to make sure we get that fairly level. Not too concerned about that line we got happening there, we can always fix that. Just a little bit of white, just right across the top there. And just run your line with your knife. There we go. Looking good. Okay. Just about at that first break stage. We haven't gone too far, but that's okay. We can pick up a little bit of light now with one of our fan brushes. Just a little bit of light to go over the top of that, just to lighten up a little. It's going to bring it alive. So just fan those bits out that we got back there in the distance. And get that fan into this water here. Needs a little bit of lightening up. Okay, just coming up to that first break. We can keep going, we've got a couple of minutes more. I need every bit we can here. Okay, so we've got that happening there. A little bit of that colour now back in here. We want to get it under the wave. And not a bad idea to spread that out with your fan brush either. So I like to put it on with my knife just to get that paint on there. And then the fan just spreads it out and blends it a bit for us. So makes it all the better. Okay, pick up our knife, a little bit of white on top of the waves here. And we've got our dark, we don't want to wipe that dark out. So we can just go straight over the top of it. And as we do, we can even roll that over, make it look just like that wave's actually breaking as we come onto the beach. Not all the same here and there, so we can do the same over here. Roll that a little and back there. So we want another wave back in there somewhere. That's looking good. Okay, there we go. Just up for a break. Just a second. Keep going here. Looking good. Okay, as we come further forward, we're going to get our bit of a shadow in there. Yep. And a little bit of a reflection of that light from that wave just breaking there onto the in front of it. A little bit of light there makes all the difference. There we go, because it's actually there, so we've got to do it. Okay, just about to wrap up, and we're going to come back very shortly and continue on. Might just put a little line under there just to get that bit of dark happening that we missed. See, so once again we don't want to lose our light, so we can just get under it with that little liner. That's about it, and a little bit of dark there as well. Just helps it look like a wave. Okay, looking good. Going to come back very shortly and continue on with our little beach flag painting. It's looking good. We'll see you then.